Good morning. As predicted, the good Lord has allowed for some more work for us. What's up, Jeff?
How you doing?
Pretty good. So what we have here is a row of redwoods. Jeff went after him with the pole pruner, I think.
Good morning, August.
4 of them. Good morning. These are 30 years old. Her husband planted them 30 years ago, and they've started to outgrow the space because they're still just in diapers. They're barely getting started, and they'd eventually be raising all these foundations, and so out they go. They're little babies, but out they go. Everything goes. I'll probably try to sell these logs to a wood carver guy that does chainsaw carving.
My old crew boss knew a dude that he was super down on his luck over and over and over, and then his old lady cheated on him and stuff, and he had just found out right there at the job site. He had a big old face cut all opened up. Started the back cut and he went and put his face up in it.
That is so gnarly. Well, the chipper broke, YouTube, so Damien's gone to get the little chipper. There's some bolts on the feed drum that just kind of rattle out, and if you're watching Vermeer, we need somebody to come work on that. I'm not in a big rush to keep material on the ground for those guys because they went to get the other chipper. So I think I'll set this line just for a little more comfort. Also, this one is more over the roof there, so it's better work positioning if I'm supported from above and right here for how I have to manipulate the pieces. Oh, I lost my throw ball. What? Oh! Wait till I show you that natural occurrence. Unnaturally natural. Yeah, this clip right here went over a little limb like that. Somehow it came off of the end of the rope also, which is bizarre. Things happen. I guess that's why it's a good idea to not go commando with just one point of attachment like I was earlier. Reminder. So this is what I'm talking about. It's frowned on by people who love statistics, but they use the wrong statistics in my opinion. They use a bunch of homeowner statistics to say not to do this. But it also is kind of obvious that trouble could happen if you weren't careful doing this. I'm talking about here, if you don't know, if you're a little lady at home or a plumber or an electrician that likes to watch this stuff, I'm talking about holding onto the piece with one hand and cutting with the other. That's something that probably wrecks a lot of people who haven't put the time in, and there's a big argument about it. People who say you shouldn't put the time in, and those same people would also ban all tobacco, and you'd have to wear a helmet to walk down the street. Uh-oh. What's with the paw? I say these things, I'm implying caution. I'm saying, careful, check yourself before you wreck yourself type of thing. If you choose to become proficient in a skill that people frown on, then that's just it, your choice. You should be able to do that. Otherwise there'd be no circus performers or anything like that. As long as I'm talking about it, why don't I just say, what happens, the way they get injured, is they only have one hand on the saw, so they don't have as much control over it. Because when the tip of the bar gets into wood, it can just throw it back in your face. And if you only have one hand, your hand will just be a hinge. Crack, crack, okay? If you got two hands, sometimes even with two hands, it's all you can do to save yourself. So the most important lesson is to be aware of where your tip is. If your tip is making contact with something out there, be advised, if it's in this top quarter quadrant of the tip, you could get seriously wounded. And yeah, it's good to know your enemy. The thing is, people want to get on the internet and learn, and they watch people that are doing things that are easy for them, and if you don't know the dangers, then you're jumping into things to past your skill set. It's kind of common sense. I think it was Dirty Harry or something like that said a man's got to know his limitations. Great wisdom there. And unfortunately, a lot of times if you're the wild type like I was, you learn your limitations by pain. So what happens is somebody gets hurt that was innocent, maybe a little too brave for their own good, and they harm themselves, and then people want to legislate a bunch of things over it. And let me just say that I understand why, because little Johnny, if he dies or if he's permanently terribly wounded, it makes you think, what can we do about this, right? But man, life is all about choices. This ain't a video game. It's like you just get the one for now while you're here, and choose wisely what you do with it, and accept responsibility for the damage you incur to yourself, sometimes what you incur on others. I'm a big proponent of individual accountability. I think it would save the world a lot of money. There's a time to blame some big entity or employer or something, like, for example, if he's not properly equipping or caring for his workers and he doesn't care about them. There's a time to go after that guy, for sure, but there's also a time for individual accountability. Driving is a privilege, it's not a right, and all these types of things. Boy, am I making some, what to me are quite obvious points today. And I don't mean points like cha-ching. I mean just, what do you call them? Warrants. Talking points. They seem like common sense items. I guess what I'm saying ultimately is I see both sides of it. And I believe that if a company wants to say, don't one-hand your chainsaw if you work for us, I believe they have that right to. It's right for them to be able to make that rule. It's all right for them to make that rule for their company and the people they love, people they want to protect themselves also. But it's not okay to make that rule for everybody in the world and then come preaching at them when a guy's like me has lived. I've been in this, my 37, 38 years, something like that. And not saying I'll never wound myself. I certainly have. But individual accountability has a place, doesn't it? Don't you think? think I could pop a couple tops right here. I do. What about you guys? You think I could just pop a couple tops here? Did I make enough room? Check. Have I made enough room to go for it? Or do I need to go way up to the twigglies like I did on the first one? I think you're right. I think we can go ahead and find a way to do it now. See, right in here, when the tip of my bar is right here, I'm making sure I don't hit that. And I'm very aware of where the tip is, because I don't want to be whack right in the face. I mean, I'm just too handsome to incur that sort of wound. It'd be such a tragedy for the world, wouldn't it? Thank you. Appreciate that compliment. Thank you so much. You're too kind. Didn't even clear the face cut all the way out, and I went for it because I knew I could. I want to show you something, YouTube, while I'm here. So a new climber sometimes will take his rope and he'll put it through a place like this, and then he'll rappel down somewhere and it'll get tighter and tighter until he's stuck. And he kind of knows it when he puts it in there. He's like, that looks tight, but what do I do? Well, let me show you a little something you can do about that. You get yourself a little thing like this, a little knot, okay, and you shove it in there like so, and then you pack it in there so that you have a base, a foundation under your rope that isn't so tight. Then when you put your rope through there, it's smooth, see? So now I could go and rappel all over the place and this would never tighten up, and I'd be able to pull my rope out. See it? I'm trying to show it to you. You see that? Simple little solution. Has to be jammed in there good. And if somebody's like, thanks man, that's so cool, I always learn something. Well, good, but that's not my thing. That came from this Jedi that I learned in a book, Jerry Baronic, in the Fundamentals of General Tree Work, which you can buy that from Patrick Masterson's web page. That book is available. You should buy it if you like this sort of thing. Fundamentals of General Tree Work. There's that and a billion other little things that you're like, thanks. I think it's important to try to share whatever you know, because there's something in the world about I'm special, if you don't know my secret sauce, my magic tricks, whatever they are. And here they are, things that some person taught you, right? So it's important, I think, to give it away, because no one really cares if you're cool. If you think you're cool and you're just all about that in your head, you're the only one. That vibe won't carry to anyone else. It'll just be you. When you got a brand new Escalade in the intersection and your nose is in the air because you are, I must look so cool right now, is what you're thinking. People aren't saying that guy, if only I could be that guy because he's so cool. They're thinking, likely, I wish I had that truck, you know? So give away your coolness, and then you'll have people going around saying, I learned it from that guy. Then you actually have some cool points. I mean, I've invested a lot of energy and like literally love into my crew. Damien and Jeff and whoever works for me will get a genuine, now I sound like I'm bragging, sorry, I'm saying it this way so that if you have something to give it. But how much cooler would it be if those guys rise up to be better than you? I mean, shouldn't it be that way? Wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be the design? If you were to take what you learned and you knew and you shared it without stinginess to others, and then they took it and then now they have it, plus they have their own stuff, then wouldn't generationally we would, as a generation, get better and better, rather than what I think is happening in the world is degeneration. There's just too much take, you know. Watch, this little piece will probably bust off. There's some irrigation lines down there, but this whole place is getting revamped. It's going to be like a whole new design here. Crepe myrtles probably, maybe down there, something easy to maintain. This right here, this would go big and fat and peel off onto that house for sure. I'm just getting set up because I'm gonna be more comfortable this way. Still got 2 trees to do, this one and that one right there, over there. Go ahead and flop this tree for me. gas with another saw because Damien took off with the truck. But they didn't fill the bar well, and so I noticed it went out on that last cut. We didn't show any grinding because I was busy doing other things, but the property looks good except for the trash. This is the after effects of grinding a lot of roots and stumps in here. And redwood stump grindings almost have a groomy landscape look. So they're gonna come through here and plant other little trees and irrigate, and this will be a done deal. But this was undulating with heavy duty root activity, and it was just gonna seriously change the way the foundation functioned on these homes. Like we're doing one coming up soon where the windows are breaking, the doors won't open, stuff like that. Like these are roots from the redwood way over here in the side yard. And we didn't address that. We may address that later. But hey, thanks for hanging out with us on another job. And we'll watch for you on the next one.
Hey guys, Sam here from monkeybeaver.com. I just wanted to show you our newest saddle. We've got, this might look familiar to you. This is the Western Desert Viper. But instead of being the Western Desert color scheme, this one is called Midnight. As you can tell, it's pretty cool looking. You notice our legs are looking a little different. Trying to get a little bit more fabric showing on those. Now guys, this isn't going to be a new fabric. We've only got a little bit. So if you're interested in this, give us a call at 458-229-1403 and we'll get you set up. Happy climbing, guys.
Monkey Beaver, dum dum.